I'm Coast Guard Mary, and I live the Coast Guard lifestyle. I support the Coast Guard lifestyle.
Okay.
I live the Coast Guard lifestyle, and boy, do I love it.
We're in Dutch Harbor. We're in Unalaska.
Unalaska.
How do you pronounce it?
Unalaska.
Okay. You've lived here your entire life?
Yes, born and raised.
What are the people here?
They're Aleuts. They're called Kawalungan. That's a tribe.
Okay. Aleut is area specific and tribe is more geographic kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
And your parents were from here?
No.
Where were they from?
My mom is from St. George Island. My dad is from McCushion.
How did they meet?
St. George. My dad went up to St. George to do some sealing. And he met my mom. And that's where it all started.
That was back in the day, huh?
Mm-hmm. And then
Did they have,
They
was it a canoe type boat that they took over there, or did they actually
no,
have
it was
a power boat?
some power boat.
Some steamboat
Yeah.
kind of? Okay.
Actually, it was called a penguin. It was a wooden.
A penguin.
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the captain was Cap Thompson, because I remember after when my mom and dad moved here, and then they had all the rest of us, and we used to go up to St. George on it to go see my grandma and all my uncles. My dad.
It didn't have a cabin, right? It was open top?
No.
It had a cabin?
Yeah.
Oh,
Had
okay.
rooms down below and up on top.
Oh.
Deck and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm. So he met her out there. That's a long distance relationship right there. You have any idea how long they courted for?
No.
Or did he just drag her back over here because he fell madly in love with her whenever they met?
Well, let's put it this way: she had my older brother, so yeah, they had to get married. And she was made me laugh because my grandma says, "Nope, you're going to marry him." And when they got to the church, she hid behind the door.
Was it the church here?
No, St. George.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a Russian Orthodox church out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to pull her out behind the door.
And then they came back over here shortly after that?
Well, actually, I still can't figure out how they got over here, but he did take her back to McCushion, and then there's a place called Burnett as well. And she said they were living in those huts,
Mm-hmm.
underground huts like and stuff, and she didn't like it because she's a whole different lifestyle, than what she in St. George. So, but they lived there, and then they ended up moving to Burnett, I guess, too, because I remember her telling me about one of my brothers was walking on the dock, and they had to go get him because he was kind of young and wasn't realizing where he was walking, and he would have fell in, and so they had to go get him. And somehow they ended up living here. They chose to live here. From McCushion, I think it was, she said. They came over. And that's where they started the rest of the family here.
But they didn't live on this piece of land that you have.
No, this is I've been in this house for 44 years.
But they
were down.
Was this street the same? Was there even a street, or was it?
Yeah,
just a
there
dirt
was
path?
roads. Yeah, because the armies, they built all the roads and trails and everything.
So they came over after the 40s, I assume.
No.
After World War II or before?
No, before World War II, because this is where they got transferred to Wrangell on that boat when the Japanese were heading this way. The armies and them were all here. The Army, Marines,
Did they have
and
kids
Navy.
at that time?
Yeah, she had three of my older brothers and my one older sister when they got on that tugboat or whatever you call it that took them over there to Wrangell. And she had...
and they all stayed together.
Mm-hmm.
Those are Your father was with him?
Yes, my dad was with him.
Well, that's-
There's a picture
I
of them
guess
right
that's
on
good.
right on the deck there. My mom and dad and my 3 brothers and my 1 sister, and she was holding the baby that she had just had when they had to be evacuated. But
But you weren't there yet.
oh no,
When did you come along?
1950. Tricky.
Just later.
Much later.
Were they here
Yes.
when you were born?
Mm-hmm.
So they had made it. They had already made it back. Did the army bring them back, or were they on their own to get back?
No, they. However, they're supposed to get back. They got back on.
Okay. You told me a story. You and your brother used to run a gill net across the mouth of the lake
Oh yeah.
at nighttime
Yeah.
to catch the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do much outside stuff? Did
Only
you
with-
help with fishing and hunting and all that
No.
stuff? No.
No. Just my brother Victor when he'd come down and we'd put out a gill net right across the mouth of the creek there and get some fish. And I had to pull hard for it.
But you never went sealing or anything like that?
No.
Did your dad ever do any whaling? Did they do any
Not-
whaling out here? No?
The first time I went seal hunting was with my son the last time he was home. Or no, 3 years before he passed. And him and my 1 brother Mike took me out on the boat I had bought him.
Mm-hmm.
And he shot a seal. I have never seen that done either. It was with him, my son, that I saw
Yeah.
the first time.
He didn't let you shoot it?
No.
Did he make you grab it and pull it in the boat?
Nope, he did it all.
Oh, yeah.
Him and my brother. We landed on a beach over at one of the camps there. Brian.
Have you ever processed a seal
No.
growing up? No? The
No.
men did all that?
Men did all of it. Women stayed home and cooked.
Okay.
And my first time helping my son was cutting up a seal was with him
Okay.
right on the deck here.
Did you go to the cannery or?
Yeah, it was up where Crawley is. There was a cannery there, and they were canning fish and stuff. So
Yeah. Were the
Crab.
crabbers
Crab.
here at that time? Was this a big port at that time for crabs?
somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what,
That's
mid
a lot.
60s? Mid to late 60s?
Yes. It was in '64 when I first worked in a cannery, and he had me out there, and a few of us that weren't even 16 yet, they had us working out there.
Dad or, yeah. Were there even houses? What kind of houses were there?
Just houses like the ones we live in now.
Just like this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The ones that are down there. We used to live across from the PCR.
Was there electricity?
Yeah. We had electricity then.
Oh, yeah? Running water?
Yep.
Inside bathroom or outside bathroom?
Inside.
Man, y'all were on top of the world.
In my time, yeah.
You realize there's places in Alaska that still don't have
Yeah, I know.
inside bathrooms, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
And y'all had it back in the early 60s, late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
That post-army housing, man.
That's,
That was the armies, yeah, doing stuff. That's where all the roads are from.
man. But there was no bridge
No bridge.
connecting. That's Dutch
Dutch.
Harbor and this is Unalaska. There was no bridge connecting.
No.
Was there an airport?
Yeah, right where it's at.
Back then there was an airport.
Yeah. That's why we used to have to take a skiff over from down by Unalaska to go over to what's called East Point now.
So you'd skip across to get to the airport or to get to.
And they had vehicles on the charter side.
Yeah.
So, and some people lived over there then too, on that side as well. So yeah, and then there was a boat that they used to call the ferry. It was just a regular boat, but with cabins and covering stuff on it. And we used to pay $5 when they finally got that going, over towards where Unice is now. Used to be a cannery, a processor over there too, Cap Thompson, and there was a chapel over there, just like the one that's right here by PCR there.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of chapel over there, and that used to be where we'd live. I started working over there at the age of 16, but we used to take that boat there over there.
At no point in time of your life were people sending children to like the East Coast to orphanages or Catholic schools or anything like that. That was all before your time, correct?
I would think so, but it was even during my time. If I remember some
All right.
kids that had to be taken away and sent out.
Never happened to you or your brothers or sisters
No.
or anything?
Mom kept hold of us.
Yeah.
They raised us right and treated us right.
Which one of your daughters went to the Coast Guard?
Diane Jenkins.
Is that the first one? First daughter, second daughter?
Second daughter.
When did she join? Do you remember?
It was, my son graduated high school in 99, so I think she went in 92, maybe 93. My oldest granddaughter was born in 94. So I think she went in between 90 and 92, maybe 93.
So she went from here to the Coast Guard in Cape May, New Jersey, boot camp.
Yeah.
What rate did she go? You don't know if she was a storekeeper or a cook or anything?
No, I believe she said she was a storekeeper.
Okay.
She didn't get on any ships. She went to Ketchikan. Was her first station.
So she came back to Ketchikan.
She went to Ketchikan.
Man, remember? So was the elbow room there your entire life?
Yeah.
Can't be.
Yes, it
Your
was
whole
there.
life?
Yeah,
Like before you were born?
it was there. Yeah.
The elbow
Even
room?
World War II.
It didn't
time.
like, really?
Yeah.
So the GIs you
told.
think made it?
I don't know where it came from.
Or somebody just, was it a house? It was a house, right?
Yeah.
It was a house.
House like this?
And somebody decided, well, they
Make it
can
a
serve
bar.
some alcoholic beverage out of there and get the GIs there.
I would think.
I'm assuming.
Well, that's what I would think. The World War II during the Army and the Navy and the
Yeah.
Marines up here in the Coast Guard. So yeah, somebody had to get it going, I guess.
The boom boom room.
Oh yeah. I could sell stories, but I'm not going to.
I've heard a few
I mean,
stories
you
out of
can't
the
say
elbow
that
room.
and not tell the stories. That's the problem.
It used to be packed.
Yeah.
The stories I know of, like, you're not even getting in there to get a drink kind of a pack. Was it pack?
Yeah,
was live
there's
music.
lines
So it's
outside the
music,
door.
All right, dancing, I imagine.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Good drinks.
In my day, yeah.
Well, was it good drinks?
Well, it was
My
Or was
time,
it whatever?
My time.
Whatever they could get out here. How old were you?
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time I went into the bar, it was the age of 19 when they had they changed the age to drinking because of the servicemen. So I was 19 when I went in there first time. Yeah.
When did they close it, or when did it go away?
Oh gosh.
It was around for a long time, right?
Yeah. I think it wasn't long after, because my son was even in the elbow room. He was old enough to go in there too. So maybe,
Dang, that had to be early 2000s.
I think so.
Who closed it?
I missed it.
I think because they had so many buyers and they just couldn't keep it open or something. I don't know, because I quit going there in the early 2000s, I think, or late 90s.
Did you go to church every Sunday, or Wednesday, or Friday, or how did they do it with you growing up?
Saturday and Sundays, and
Your parents were Russian Orthodox, or
Yes.
were they? Mm-hmm. Saturdays and Sundays?
Yeah. Well, not every Saturday or Sunday, but mostly holidays we all went. Always did.
That church, how old is that church, do you know?
That's over 100 years old.
I was going to say it's striking.
If
So
I'm right.
before
If
1920?
Yeah, I think if I'm correct, it's 200 years old. It's the oldest church in Alaska.
Really?
Yeah. If I'm correct, I think Sitka's the next one. Yeah.
What's it like living in Unalaska today compared to early childhood time frames?
Well, early childhood was a lot of fun. You can just go anywhere and do anything and not have to worry about getting hit by a truck or anything or what goes on in the world today. There was a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
The roads here now, yeah, I'm thankful for that. Yeah. But in a way, I do kind of miss growing up as a child down up here at home. But even now, I'm still thankful for all the stores we have and the paved roads and all, the communities, libraries, PCR, and all that. But I just wish I can get back to the old days.
Yeah. Where did Malachi come into this whole thing? Fred brought him home?
Fred bought him
Bought him.
from up north.
And he was half wolf.
He's had wolf.
He was a legit wolf dog. And he shed like one too.
Oh, I bet he did.
And you
2
could,
layers, right? 2 coats.
yeah.
3, 4, yeah.
But when my MSD crew would come here, like Gibson and them, and if any of these try to hug, when they hug me, he'd get right between them and,
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't let that.
oh yeah, he'd just jump right between us.
Sounds like a good dog.
Oh, he's a good watchdog. He was a comical dog, I tell you. He was
And he passed away last year?
2 years.
2 years ago now? After I left, it broke his heart.
Didn't even know where to mark it anymore.
You realize, whenever people were talking about taking care of him in the office, I was the only one that said, I'm not taking care of that dog. And I ended up
Take care of the dog.
taking care of that dog. Me and another guy, I'm pretty sure we took care of him almost every single time after a while. Old big Jake. Jake loved him.
Oh, yeah.
He was something else. Yep. It's hard standing or sitting in here and not having him walking around.
I know.
I take it that's him down there with the photos?
Yep.
That's him over there with his owner.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
Yeah, he ended up being my good walking partner and everything. And
Yeah. I can see that.
people would be scared to come and visit me.
They should have been.
Oh, he's a big old softie. He just
This
wants to play.
He was one of those dogs that was fine, but he knew you knew he could kill you at the drop of a hat. With no question. He knew, and if you didn't know that, he would let you know that. Yeah.
Well, it's like one year, one of the cutters was here, and I was at Alaska ship. You know how I have him in the back seat there, and the windows rolled down. One of the guys saw him and liked him, was heading towards him. I said, I wouldn't devour you unless you want to lose a hand. I said, he's very protective of the truck and me. So he backed off, and the other guys, they just kind of snickered. And he says, but I want to pet him. I says, okay. I says, I'll talk with him. And I calmed him down, and I said, when you're coming up to the truck, I said, walk up slow and put your hand up really slow. And he did. And
She would have the window cracked in the truck, and he would be in there, but like inside, not sticking his head out, and wait for somebody to get right beside it, and sneak up behind him and bark and scare the hell out of him. I think he just enjoyed doing that. Did it to me numerous times sitting in the truck. Yeah.
Just,
a sick dog.
yeah, my one pilot son, he knew Malachi. Malachi got used to him when he'd come up here and would visit at the office, and he'd be in the truck, and I'd be sitting in the truck one time, and he came up and told me, I said, you can just go up to him slow. And I told Malachi, I said, that's my friend, don't you be nice. He did too. So, but when he was a puppy, not long, about 3 weeks after my son got him home, and it was just before Russian Christmas, and I was teaching him Aleut words, certain words, easy words, like sit, come here, stay, and all that, or go to bed, go to sleep. It only took him about a week or so, and he knew that language.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son was proud of him.
I'm sure it was in his blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't take him more than a week to 2 weeks, and that was it. And he knew. All I had to do was tell him something in Aleut, and he'd do it. I tell him, lay down, he'd lay right down. If I say, come here, he'd come here.